Hi, this is Nikki Price from DiamondMLMtraining.com, and this is the third video in the series of how to create a Facebook fan page. Third and final video, you'll be pleased to hear, and this is where we kind of pull it all together. So this is part of the Facebook for Business Blueprint training. I'll put the link for that underneath this video. So on the first video, what we did is we went through and we set up this, just the page structure. So this is the section here that we're going to be pulling through all the information into. And on the second video, what we did was, oops, wrong page. What we did was go through to our HTML editor and create an external web page that we've now published. So it is a live page on the web, and this is the URL that we will be using later rather even. Okay, so I keep doing the wrong pages here. Right. So back to our page. What we're going to do is to now, on the third part, is we're now going to create the app that is just going to sit here, that is going to be pulling through the page. Okay, so what we need to do is from your profile page or from anywhere where you are logged in, you just need to go to facebook.com/developers. Okay. And what that will do, that's taken me through, as you can see, I've got rather a lot of apps here, but if you don't have any, then you won't have anything there, but I've been doing a few a few tests. Okay, so what we need to do is to just click the Create New App. And here we're going to give our app a name. Really doesn't matter what you call it because this app is just for you, so you can call it whatever you like. So I'm just going to call it test app so that I know to delete it. But if it's your landing page for a certain web page, just call it what you need to so that you recognize what it is and don't delete it by mistake. Read the Facebook terms and conditions, click I agree, and click continue. And then you get one of these horrible captcha codes. I had one of these that was upside down the other day. No, that's even got has that got an apostrophe in it, hasn't it? Let's try that. Is that going to like that? Come on Facebook. It's having a good think. There we go. There we go. Right, it has created my app for me. Fantastic. Okay, so let's just go through and just fill out a few things here. We can just call that test app again, but just put the name or the description of whatever that is in there. The logo here you really don't need, unless you're creating an app that everybody on Facebook is going to use and you want to be known for it, then you don't need to change that. This one though, this one is actually going to show in the left hand side of your screen. So I think it's 16 pixels. Yes, it's 16 by 16 pixels, and it can be a picture that you can just upload from there. So if you can just use one of your pictures, if they if it sort of goes down to that size quite nicely, or what you can do is just go, I think there's if you Google search, I think it's just something like Facebook app icons. I can't for the life of me remember the name of the website, but there is a website where you can get all these little icons that are pre-done for you, but it really depends what you want to put there. And you can change it anyway. You can always go back to your app and change it. Okay, so just going to go through and fill out a little bit more. Now then, privacy policy and terms of service URL. If you have any sort of external, it says here you've got to have one, so you need to have one for your app. If you have any sort of external web page, you really should have one of these anyway. Your page rankings will be lower. Certainly by Google. Google will penalise you if you don't have any policy or terms of service URLs. It's fairly recent in their algorithm, so I believe. But you will get ranked down if you don't have this, so you absolutely need to go and get one of these. For the purpose of the video, I should say go and get a proper one done. But just a little tip, if you just Google search it, you'll be able to find a perfectly decent privacy policy on there. If you suddenly start to make millions online, then I would go and get this done legally and properly to make sure that you are protected. But I've already got mine, so if I just click here, I can see my privacy policy and my terms of service policy. Both of these are just pages on my blog that I've literally just put in, so that they're nothing to do with any of the websites that I'm pulling through at the moment, but that's just where they are. They're stored on my website, so I'm just going to use those, so that's fine. User support URL you don't need. Click Save Changes, and that should be us good to go. Okay, now it's warning us that the changes may take several minutes to propagate across all the servers, so I hope it's not, because otherwise I'm going to have to stop the video. But what we're going to do is have a look at this app now on Facebook. So we were in the developers page there, we're now looking at it back on Facebook. So this this is basically asking you to build the app now here and tell it exactly what you want it to, where you want it to go to collect the information. So in the Canvas page, you don't need to fill anything in this. I know it says required URL for your app, but you actually don't need to put anything in there. The Canvas URL, now this page, this is where you start to tell it where this information is, but you don't need it all at this stage. You just need the domain name effectively, but you do need that / the root directory sign, so that it knows where to go to pull the content. So this is just saying which website do I go to pull the content. Now, secure Canvas URL, I believe that this just means you need to put in an S. We don't need it at the moment, but we will do by the 1st of October 2011, so I'll let you know if it's any different, but I won't put it in now. I have put it in on a couple, as you can see. I have put in a couple, but I think on one of them I had a bit of a problem bringing it through, so I'm not going to put anything in there at the moment, but I think that's all you need to do, is to put an S in it. Okay, we're going to tick the auto resize, quite important, although it doesn't always work, and that's why I showed you yesterday how to put the little bit of extra HTML text in if you get a problem where it starts scrolling with the scroll bars. So if it's over 520, then, well, this is telling you that it's going to do it auto resize, but in actual fact, in most times I've seen it doesn't actually work. So there we go. So social discovery, just leave that as enabled. I'm not actually sure what that does, but just leave that as enabled. I've never had any issues with that. Now the tab name, this is important. This is what you're going to call the page when it shows up there. So this is what your prospects are going to see. And if we're going to set it later to be the landing page, when anyone searches up your page or finds your page and lands on your page, and it's going to be this one, then we want to, we've got a capture page on here. We're going to have a video, so I'm just going to call it free video training. But that just change what make the free stand out a bit. Do what you want to make that stand out and be what your prospects are looking for. So right, so the tab URL, now this is where we're going to put the whole part of the web page. So that's telling it now exactly what part of that web page to pull through. So that is the exact, so make sure you get that exactly right. And again, the secure tab URL, I believe that is just with the S in again, but I'm not going to put it in at the moment. In fact, it did actually tell me there, didn't it? Secure base URL for users on HTTPS. So yes, I think it is just put HTTPS. As we get closer to October the 1st, it's probably recommended that you do put in the HTTPS. And edit URL we don't need, so we're just going to click Save Changes. Now hopefully this has, is going across all the servers. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to stop the video, but what we're going to do now is to view the app on our profile page. Okay, so this is my app, test app, on my profile page. Okay, so now what I want to do is to actually add it to my web page, and what it's done is it's just listed my web pages here now, and this is the one with a nice big question mark, so I'm going to add it to that page. Simple as that, and then close. So what I'm going to do now is to go back to my page and refresh it, and hopefully down here, keep your eye on this bit, hopefully if it all works it's going to come through. And there it is, look. So you see how now that's brought through those funny little stars. You see I could have put a nice picture in there in that little 16 by 16 pixel. So ta-da, let's have a look and see if that's worked. And there we go. There is our page. Beautifully done, look. It all worked, fantastic. We've got no scroll bars. If the scroll bars were going to come, they would come there. So that means that nice bit of HTML text we put in yesterday has worked. And we're going to go and like our own page. Don't forget to like your own page to give yourself your first like. And that is essentially it to start with. So this is just the beginning. Now if you go and grab a copy of my Facebook for Business Blueprint training, what I go through on there is exactly how we're going to start promoting this, literally how we can make the most of the area that we have up here for pictures. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple of my live sites. This is the real Global Resorts video. If you actually look in there, you'll see it's the same page, funnily enough. There it is. But this is my live site. It's brand new, and I've only just put this one up actually, so I'm just starting to get active. So I go through exactly how to set this up here, how you can make the absolute most of this space here, how you can share it with lots of different people. I give you, I think it's about 12 different ways to get more likes to your page, because this is what you want. As I say, this is new, so I haven't got many yet, but I've been working hard on generating some likes and some interest, and I've been generating leads here. So what I show you in the training has generated me, I think on one day, 27 free leads, but anything from sort of 2 up to 27 leads, free leads a day. It does take a little bit of time to start off with, but as you build momentum, you can do things like, like this. You can ask people questions. You can do little surveys and get people interacting on your site. There's so many different hints and tips that I cover in the training that, there's some really, really good tips that I've picked up from some of the, the real gurus on Facebook. As I say, I'm not a guru on Facebook, but I have studied it quite hard for the last sort of 2-3 months, and I've had some really good results. So anyway, I hope that's helped, and please feel free and give me some comments below if you found this training useful. As I say, this is just one of many methods that you can use to create a website, to create a Facebook fan page. It is one of my favorites because it's free, and therefore a lot of people can do this. A lot of people already have separate websites, but if you don't, there are many other ways. And I do cover another free method as well, that has the Reveal tab as well. If you've seen some of those pages that have the Reveal tab, this is one of my other ones that I've created with a form and just some text in a text box. You can be as creative as you want. So that's it for today. I hope that's helped. This is Nikki Price from diamondmlmtraining.com.